Having this deck is amazing. It's pretty much our living room and we use it all the time. The roof over the deck is so nice. It means that you've got a bit of shade in the summer and it keeps the rain off in the winter. So today, I think I am going to extend that roof.
This isn't going to be a how-to, although it could be a how not to. It's a story about what happens when our basic need for shelter gets hijacked by a $1 million dream home.
My plan was to rent a hole borer, but I can't get one today, so I might try digging. I'll see how it goes. It's really heavy clay soil here, so it's probably going to be a total nightmare, but I'm just going to get on with it.
Somewhere between a shovel and a post hole borer, I started thinking about grand designs and tiny homes and why so many people go into debt for a kitchen that just becomes the room in which they make toast. I built this deck a year ago, and over time it became something more than just a platform. It became a place we live, our outdoor lounge, our winter refuge, our summer kitchen. I want to extend the roof. Do I really need to? Or am I falling into the same trap I'm criticising of overbuilding, overthinking, turning a practical idea into a performance? Will this be another story of ambition gone sideways? A guy in a caravan at his in-laws with a half-finished roof and a maxed out credit card?
Digging that hole actually wasn't that hard, but what is hard is that when the hole is deeper than your arm, it's quite hard to get the soil out the bottom. More than quite hard. Kind of like impossible. But the good news is I've just found somewhere where I can rent a post hole borer. So I'm going to go and get that. Should never have started that hole. Waste of time. Never mind.
I complain about government rules sometimes, but I actually like the building code. Somewhere an engineer has already figured out what post depth you need and what size timber. For a professional builder, that might be red tape, but for me, it's free engineering. And when a cyclone hits, I'm glad someone smarter than me ran the numbers. It was at this point I began to realise there's no such thing as a free lunch. This post hole borer wasn't going to magically cut through the clay without some serious effort. Somewhere along the way, we started confusing aesthetics for meaning. A kitchen isn't fulfillment. A polished concrete floor isn't peace. These things photograph well, but they don't bring us lasting joy. And the cost isn't just financial. Debt isn't a neutral tool, it's a chain. People go into debt thinking they're buying freedom, but we're really just selling our future for design features we'll stop noticing in 6 months. And meanwhile, the house, the one we dreamed of, starts decaying from the day it's finished. A house isn't a monument, it's a maintenance plan. The wood will rot, the gutters will clog, the paint will peel. Everything we build is already on its way back to dust. Grand Designs loves to say, "This is a monument to perseverance." I'd say it's a promise to keep showing up with a screwdriver and a tin of paint. I should make it clear, I'm not immune to the pull of all of this. I love the architectural books, the magazines, the photos of homes perched on the cliff or beside the ocean. I get it, I feel it, but I try to resist, not because I'm above it, but because I'm driven by something else. A deeper need for freedom, for simplicity, for enough. Maybe a bus and a deck isn't much, but I'm deeply content with what I've got, and I don't need more.
This is totally exhausting. That post hole borer, it doesn't actually make things any easier at all. Once it catches on the clay, there's just so much torque. It really wrenches you, so you've got to kind of grip it tight. It's exhausting. There's smoke pouring out of the thing. I don't think it's any more efficient than just digging it with a spade.
This small structure is a long way from the dream home you'll find on a glossy real estate brochure. There are no sweeping curves, no imported fittings, no design moments to hashtag. But here's the thing, it works. It keeps the rain off, it gives us a place to sit, to cook, to enjoy the view. And that's the part the housing market doesn't want you to think about. Because once you realise you can build something useful without selling your future, you're not very easy to sell to. This isn't about minimalism, it's about not being coerced. It's about seeing the system for what it is, a machine that profits when we confuse shelter with status. In my opinion, the forever home is a trap. It's sold to us as the final step in the good life. But really, it's just the start of lifelong economic obedience. The mortgage doesn't just own your house, it owns your time, your energy, and freedom. You take on a 30-year loan and suddenly you can't change jobs. You can't take a risk. You can't walk away. You're locked into a monthly payment plan that doesn't care if you're burnt out, injured, or just ready for something new. Why do so many wealthy people keep showing up to jobs they no longer love? Maybe it's not just ambition. Maybe it's the mezzanine level, the designer kitchen. The price of admission for a life they were told would make them happy. I'm not saying everyone should live like this. Not everyone wants to build their own roof, or needs to. But I do think we've been sold a story. We're surrounded by shows, magazines, algorithms, all whispering the same thing. That home has to be expensive to be meaningful. That beauty costs money. that comfort has to be bought. But that's just not true. You can improve your life with a hammer and some nails, not a second mortgage. You can take one corner of the world, just a corner, and make it yours. You don't need polished concrete floors to feel grounded. You don't need a dream kitchen to feel at home. You just need something that works. For me, that's just a structure that keeps the rain off while I cook dinner outside. In a world where we're encouraged to build empires, maybe peace comes from building shelter. Not to impress, but to live. Not for status, but for stillness. As I see it, there are two ways to get rich. One is by acquiring a load of money, and the other is by not wanting much. As Socrates said, he is richest who is content with least, for content is the wealth of nature.
If you want to take this conversation further, I've already made a program about mortgages, which I'll link on the screen here. I think in the past I have felt a real pull to live in a pretty fancy, nicely designed house, although that pull is less strong now. I'd like to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. Are you happy with the house you live in now? Do you feel that you need to live in something nicer? Do you dream of living in some kind of beautifully architecturally designed house? Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you next week.